Give me your thoughts. Will free ad-supported TV emerge as the most dominant streaming option for viewers?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, 2 years ago, 3 years ago, we were contemplating that. Who will win in the end? AVOD, SVOD. Yeah, so much about TVOD. But point is, yeah, no doubt. I mean, free is free. It's liberating. It's what consumers want. I mean, you've got a scenario that's playing out right before our eyes, which is cord cutting. People are tired of paying the premium cable or satellite bill, and it's just perfect timing and harmony with just the mindset of consumers, viewers right now. Is free wins overall, and then you've got the powerhouses coming from the media perspective, large media conglomerates showing up with really compelling content, and then you have also tech and a variety of means to get that really flushed through and iron out, and then bring data, analytics. It's a kind of a perfect scenario altogether.
Great. Now, what unique opportunities do you see in the CTV landscape for media and entertainment companies in particular, and how can they effectively measure scale?
It's not to go too far in a rant, but as a smart TV OEM at scale, largest by a far leap, leader in smart TV manufacturing, we bring the scale, we bring the ACR data. What we've been working today and up to these 6 years since we've been in the business of an ad sales business, we bring some pretty compelling offerings. I mean, we've got the suite of the streaming services, the apps, the tune-in business, the legacy linear side, then we have the studio entity, and then gaming. So for all those, not to go too deep on each one, but it's really about the analytics and the data that comes so quickly that we're able to optimize on the fly, one-to-one deterministic data, all that good stuff that comes with it. But it's really measuring the constant flow of change that's going on in our living rooms and being able to offer that back to our advertisers in M&E. So that could come through first screen, that could come through CTV, certainly with AVOD, our own AVOD service, Samsung TV Plus, or through the Samsung Network, which is that app inventory. It kind of runs the gamut, but it's us kind of taking all of that inventory and then layering the data and bringing that to the media and entertainment community.
All right, now looking ahead to 2022, the whole theatrical release kind of tradition took a new form as studios went hybrid.
Yeah.
Releasing content in theaters and on streaming platforms simultaneously. Do you see that trend continuing?
We do, and we have. It was a pretty awesome experience. I know it wasn't great for everybody, but to see that PVOD window open and really mature in a rapid amount of time was pretty astonishing, quite honestly. I mean, it's always been talked up that one day the window will open and it'll be direct to consumer, and we saw that firsthand. We do believe that will continue. We're already seeing that now, that there's this hybrid of budgets coming from the theatrical side or coming back to theatrical, and then also nurturing and evolving the PVOD window. So it's a nice blend of the two that work kind of yin and yang together, right and left hand to get that just right, because it's about multiple touch, right, after all, with consumers.
With gaming, so huge year. Last year was massive growth too. Where do you see the intersection of gaming with streaming for next year?
Yeah, it's a call out. So we were out in market in late third quarter with our white paper, Rule of 40, and mostly that served the needs of the brand community, brand advertisers that needed to look more closely at shifting budgets, if you will, to streaming, to AVOD services, and out of that analysis came a gaming deeper dive. We could see this all going down in the last two and a half years. Time at home and whatnot with the pandemic, that gaming was on the rise, and with that, some stats to throw at you. We had a huge uptick. We would see it as huge in the sense that it was 5 points additionally in time spent streaming within gamers. So they went from 50 to 55 time spent percentage points in watching streaming. So they're not necessarily just playing games. They're now, they've got a beautiful TV in front of them, and they're utilizing the apps, and they're starting to kind of balance the scales, if you will. And then they certainly remain somewhere in the 30% range of time spent gaming, but it's an interesting kind of change or shift away from gaming time to streaming. Yeah.
And I want to ask you about automatic content recognition, ACR. This kind of data has become more important to the kind of broader OTT space.
Yeah.
What does ACR look like in the gaming space?
So we've been quite successful with ACR, with gaming. In fact, it was almost the conversation that solidified it for us when we were out talking to customers or clients. They were trying to wrap their heads around ACR. What is the tech and how's it different, audio versus video? And I think the one that really encapsulated for them this idea of fingerprinting or watermarking content came through the gaming lens. And to unpack that a bit, that's working with video game publishers, for instance, and fingerprinting 10, 15, 20 minutes of time of that actual game itself prior to the release of that title. And then when it hits the glass, our glass, we know that that household has essentially bought that game, and then we map that media and media spend, our own media buy, or even that particular video game publisher's media buy across CTV or linear, which kind of gives you just a great view of how we're able to bring that ACR data into the fold and measure all video media, both on our platform as well as elsewhere. So that's still playing itself out, and we look up 4 years later, we've got well over 200 different audiences around gaming that we serve back to either the endemic gaming community, be it console or video game publishers, or quite honestly, there's now brand advertisers, obviously, that want to target that tough to reach gaming audience.
All right, great. Any other sort of big picture thoughts for 2022 in the M&A space?
Certainly. I mean, there are, as you know, more apps coming online, coming on TVs every day, and it's just exciting to see the streaming wars play out. The big boys, the large media conglomerates are showing up, which we celebrate. We're excited about that, to see some of those partners come to bear. I think also the linear folks that are made those investments, they've got commitments in traditional linear, but to see them kind of balance the scales and use both those assets together as one, that's pretty exciting. I mean, I'm a guy who also sells a lot of that user experience ad inventory on the actual interface. And I think what's going to come in 22 is some bigger bets. We'll be innovating a lot more. We'll be spending more time with the consumer. There's already a large amount of time spent in search and discovery within our UI, somewhere in the range of 20, 30 minutes. Also, roughly half of the audience that turns on their television, they have no idea what they want to watch. So it's a perfect opportunity to put more promotion and marketing messages in front of those consumers. So we'll be doubling down on that. We're also, I think, pretty excited just about where cloud gaming's going, and maybe some future announcements down the road there. But excited just for the turn of the next year and the continued growth of streaming and CTV being in a good spot.